Hi, my name's Holly. I'm a mixed media artist and printmaker from Hertfordshire in the UK. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be gel printing on these collage papers that I've created. So if that's something that you think you might be interested in, then please follow on. So in today's session, we're going to be creating some collages that we're going to gel print on. So to create those collages, I'm going to use like a variety of different papers. So these are just bits and pieces of gel prints that haven't worked or that are just offcuts from other things that I've done. So this is a great way of using them up. So yeah, and some of them are even roll-off sheets that I've used when I've been rolling off my roller. So yeah, that's one thing. These are bits that I've printed on tissue paper from my gel plate, and again it's a good way of using bits and pieces up that are either offcuts of things or they maybe just didn't work out the way you wanted them to. They can be used as part of your collage. And then these bits here are various different things. So I've got book pages, got an old book that I tear up and collage and things. These are these cool stamps that I got, which are in the shape of trees, so I stamped them. They might be good in the background. Again, more stamps with birds on. Then I've got these rubber stamps that do like these kind of lacy patterns, which I thought were quite cool, so I can use them in the background. These are collage papers. I think you can get them online, all sorts of different places. I think you're meant to use them on the background of cards or in scrapbooks and that kind of thing. I tend to like photocopy them so I can use them over and over. So yeah, they're really good for the background. I like the text. It often looks good in the background of a collage. And then a bit of brown paper, that's always good to collage with. Musical notes, more collage paper with musical notes. These are bits, I think they're fabric swatches that I've got that I just photocopied onto paper. So they kind of look really good when you collage with them. This is an old envelope. I just really like the pattern on the card on the envelope that I got the card in. So I thought that would be quite cool to like collage in the background. More musical notes. Some tissue paper with polka dots on. And this is more collage paper that I've got from, I don't know, somewhere online, which is quite cool because it's all like flowers and like vintage style seed packets and things. So yeah, that's quite good for collage in the background. So yeah, let's get started. So to do these collages, there's not really any hard or fast rules. Basically, I use PVA glue. I add a little bit of water just because it helps the glue to last a bit longer. And then I just stick them down in random patterns. As you can see from the pieces of paper, I'm mostly using green and pink colours here. I just decided to limit my colour palette for this. But I'll tend to put like 3 pieces of the same thing down. So with this, these musical notes, I'll probably do 2 or 3 of the same type, just randomly across the page, spread out in different shapes. I tend to tear the paper most of the time rather than cutting it because I quite like the rough edges. So I'll do like 2 or 3 of that, and then I'll move on to maybe using some tissue or something with a colour on it, or a different pattern, and I'll just work through the sheets like this. So I'll let you have a little watch. Like I say, there's no real hard fast rules to this. You can collage it however you want. You can make the pieces as big as you want or as small as you want. You can cover as much or as little as of the sheet of paper as you like as well. But yeah, I'll leave you to have a watch. Okay, so I've let my the collage sheets dry and they're ready to print with. So we've got 4 different ones here with lots of different bits of collage material that I had earlier. Slightly different colours, mostly in greens and pinks. Some stamps I used on this one. So there's a variety of different techniques and I'll show you what to do next. So to begin with, what I want to do is sort of mix up some different random bits and pieces of colour to go on top of what's there. So I'm going to use these 3 colours for that. So I tend to like using these ones from Pebeo because they're slightly transparent, so they're quite good as like a subtle colour in the background. So yeah, I'm going to have a go with these. So to do that, I'm just going to put different bits on the gel plate like this. So a bit of pink and then a bit of green. I'm just going to do the gel plate half and half like that. Just spread it out across the gel plate. And then the green, not really being that too accurate about it, it's just to get some different colours onto the plate. And then I've got my roll off sheet just to roll off any excess paint and clean my roller. So I'm just going to lay down these collages on top of this, just kind of at random. You don't necessarily have to push down too hard. You just get different bits over the top. Let's go with that one there. So what you're doing is just getting a bit of background colour on top of what you've collaged. And then I've done these bits. You don't have to cover the whole sheet, but just parts of it. So I'm just going to see what else is still left on the plate and see if I can pull those last little bits up. Like that. And then I'll try putting the other one on top as well. Or rather another one on top. Like that. And then you want to try some different colours. So I'm just going to try a bit of blue on this one and a bit more green. Like that. Just don't need that much paint onto the plate either. It really does just spread out quite. You only need a small amount to cover the plate really. And again, it doesn't matter if it's not like perfectly rolled out. In fact, it's probably better if it's not perfectly rolled out on the plate. So you just want to put different sections of your collages down onto the plate. It doesn't have to be too accurate. It doesn't matter if not all the bits are covered or it doesn't look perfect. It's just giving you a bit of background cover. You can see there's still some paint on there, so you could still get another bit, get some more off there as well. Kind of like it if it's not perfect as well. So this one here's got lots of little imperfect bits, whatever was left on the plate down the side. Okay, I'm going to do a bit more pink. Probably only need one more lot, to be honest. And for this you can actually just make the paint really thin, like I've just done there. It doesn't have to be really thick. You want to still see your collage elements behind it. So maybe just a little bit more blue on that one. Sometimes I'm not actually fully pressing down on the sheet of paper so that it kind of leaves a bitty, sort of an imperfect layer of paint on the plate. Looks a little bit sort of grungy. Okay, so I'm just going to let them dry for a couple of secs. Okay, so I've given them a few minutes to dry now. So the next stage is basically you need to start printing on top with some leaves. So I've chosen to use these bamboo leaves. You can see some of them I've already used. I just really like the way that the long leaves give you lots of space in between. You'll see what I mean when I start to like print with them. But yeah, this is what I've chosen to use. So what I'm going to also use is this dark turquoise blue, so it contrasts with the other colours that I've already used so far. So again, you don't need too much paint, just a little bit. Just roll it out thinly and evenly across your plate. With this stage, you need to try to work fairly quickly, especially if it's warm like it is for me today. You don't want it to dry before you've had a chance to put your plants down and your paper down. So the more you roll on your plate, the more paint will get taken off as well. So just bearing that in mind, if you keep rolling it, eventually all the paint will have gone. So you just want to place your bamboo or whatever leaves you choose down on the plate at different angles. So that's what I'm doing here. Another one here. Kind of just want them to go at all different angles like that. And then you just place one of your collage papers down on top of the plate. You just want to make sure with one hand that you're holding it still so it doesn't move around the plate, and then with the other hand smooth it down. Where you've been collaging onto the paper kind of goes a bit wrinkly. So you need to make sure that you hold it down properly onto the plate. So try to make sure you go in between all of the bits of the leaves and the stems, just so that you get like a nice clean image. And when you think you've rubbed it all enough, you can check the corners just to see. And you can see there that it hasn't quite taken up as much paint as I would like it to. So I'm just going to rub that bit a bit more. Same there, you can see there's probably a bit more paint to come from either side of the stem. Yeah, that's quite nice and clean. Then you'll get this interesting image. So what I really like about this image is that you can see bits and pieces of your collage papers through between all the leaves, which is why I wanted the nice long leaves so you can see them. So that's the first one. I'll put that to one side so it can have a dry. Then if you take all your bamboo leaves off, you'll then find that you've got some nice ghost patterns on your plate. It's up to you what you want to do with this stage, but I tend to print everything off my plate because everything is an interesting print to me. You can just clean it off, but I'm going to print this one onto some tissue paper. See if I've caught it quickly enough before it's dried. or not. If you leave the shadow print to, or the ghost print to dry onto your plate for too long, then it won't, not much of it will come up onto the paper. So we'll see what happens. Oh, it's still left quite a lot of it behind. That's fine, we can pull another print. You can use that in all sorts of different collages and things. It's still really nice print. But as there's still something on the plate, I'm going to find like a lighter contrasting colour just to pull the remainder of it off. I'm going to go with this light green. This is a good colour for like printing, for pulling the paint off the background. Going to use a normal sheet of paper for this one. So as long as your ghost print has dried onto the plate, or the remainder of it has there, you should be able to put another layer of contrasting paint down and it should pull everything up off your plate. You can always check the corner to see if it's worked, but that definitely has worked. So just pull that off and then that cleans off your plate for the next print. It's actually quite nice too. So you can use that in all sorts of different things. Okay, so then I'm going to keep printing my collage papers. Okay, so I've finished printing on all my collage papers. So I've got 4 different ones now that are finished. You can see they all look quite different depending on what's in the background. And then I also ended up with a whole load of ghost prints, which I can add to my gel printing stash. Some on tissue, some on paper, just some different effects. So I can already see some really interesting areas on these. So in my next video next week, I'm going to show you what I would then do with these, using a viewfinder to find specific areas and then how I would take that forward. So I hope to see you next week. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and follow me, and hopefully you'll join me for my next session. Thanks, bye.